right, guys, let's dive into this crazy morning. Let's talk about this crazy morning and everything that has happened. Right now, AVIO starting to try to get that next leg on up or trying to get a little bit of that breakout. All eyes at this point should be on AVIO. All right, and why should we be watching AVIO at this time? Because it's doing what it's tried to done yesterday, right? What this play did yesterday, it's trying to do it right now. And what is that? A break of the VWAP, right? So if we look back here, we can put this on probably about a 3-minute time frame, and we could see we had this massive U-shape pattern breakout of the VWAP and went on a quick morning spike. It came back on down and made this big time U-shape pattern, broke the VWAP, and look at all this big time action that came flying through. That all this big time hype came flying in, right? We went on a massive move and a massive rip, right? Look what it's trying to do right now. ABIO right here has this U-shaped pattern forming, looking to hold this play to get, a nice big breakout. And this stock right here has the VWAP and looking for this to continue to move on up. So it's looking for that VWAP break and a lot of action to move on in. So it's the same exact concept, the same exact play. ABIO right now holding above the VWAP, and now we're going to see if this stock is going to be able to run all the way back up towards around $19. So ABIO, keep this one on high alert, especially as I'm going over this recap. But what a crazy day it has been. What a crazy start to the month it has been. May stepping up its game because you know what? April was a little bit slow. Right, there wasn't really too much, with April. There wasn't really a lot of hype. There wasn't a lot of big time momentum in April. But we have seen 2 days in May, and we have already seen ABIO go from $5 all the way up to $20, right? We have seen many other spikes just today alone, where we have seen NSPR. NSPR today went from $6 all the way up to $7.50. We saw EARS. EARS went from $4.50 all the way up towards $6.50. And then we also saw DFFN, and DFFN, this stock went from $3 all the way up to $4.28. So we are keeping our eyes peeled on so much because there's so much going on. And guess what? They're all low float runners. And they're all going on over dollar moves. This one went on a $3 to almost a $2 move. Excuse me. This went from $3 to $5, right? EARS, this play went from $4.50 all the way up to $6.50. That's $2. We have NSPR. This play went from $6 all the way up to $7.50. That's $1.50. And then of course the big one over on ABIO, where that one's ran about $5 all the way up to $20, which has been what? A $15 move. So we've been seeing just massive moves, massive rips, massive activity. So let's kind of break this down. Let's get this all together. Let's get our thoughts together. How did I do today, first off? I was able to make $271. So again, adding another win to my small account challenge. And here is my P&L on the day. So here's my P&L. Want to make sure that everyone sees this. I bought in at $9.58. I held this stock for 11 minutes. There was a hold as well on this play. I was in on a total of 800 shares, so 400, 400. I did do 2 separate orders of 400 and 400. When I sold it, I locked in 400, and then I let the other half play out, and then I locked in the other 400. I did market orders on both these orders. So I got in on a market order of 400 shares at 988. I market ordered again on 400 shares at 987. My cost basis at this time was, 588 and then 587. My cost basis at this time was 587. Then after the stock, made its move, I locked in 400 shares at 630. I was seeing if the stock was going to continue to run. It didn't. It had a pullback, and I sold the rest at 613. This came out to a total of $271, and my current small account challenge is right at $5,100. $5,121 is my current, value that I have in my small account. So still growing, still again getting after it, and again really been stepping it up over the past 2 weeks to get this thing really taken on off. I did start off pretty slow, as I always say, the slowest part. Jeez, what was that so troubling? I was going between slow and hard. The slowest and hardest part of the small account challenge is what? The very beginning, right? As I say, it's a lot easier to turn a $50,000 account into a $100,000 account than it is to turn a $5,000 account into a $20,000 account. One's making 50 grand, one's making only 15 grand, but guess what? Since you have $50,000, it's a lot easier to buy more shares, to play more stocks, to be able to do multiple trades a day. And then guess what? You'll be able to make more money in a quicker fashion. With only a $5,000 account, you have to pick the stocks that you want, very specifically. You need to be a stock sniper. You need to make sure the stocks that you are picking are going to spike, are going to make money, are going to be profitable. Because if not, again, what's going to happen? You're not only going to have to sit out another day, but you're going to be losing money. So you're just losing valuable time. So you're losing money and valuable time if you're not being a stock sniper on these plays, right? So that's what it comes down to, and that's something that you guys need to understand. That's growing a small account. The toughest part, the slowest part is the beginning. But I've really stepped it up over this past, I would say 2 weeks now to be able to get the account to where it's at now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be coming on up. And we're going to talk about that trade. The trade I took was EARS today. So we could dive in and talk about EARS today. But before we talk about EARS, we kind of have to talk about the start of today and talk about a little bit of everything, right? Because what happened today? Well, we woke up this morning and we know all eyes were going to be on ABIO, right? We already knew that. And look at this, guys. Again, ABIO starting to make this U-shaped pattern. Right, ABIO is starting to make this U-shaped pattern. I even screenshotted this yesterday and threw it on my Twitter where I said, huge U-shaped pattern, huge U-shaped pattern breakout. The 1 million float, giant volume at the break of the VWAP, right? This was yesterday. Look what it's starting to do right now. It's doing the same exact thing. It's doing the same exact thing right now. ABIO may have just gotten halted. Yep, ABIO just got halted right here, and we could see that this is continuing to move on up. This is where predictable trading comes on in, guys. Predictability behind our trading. It's the same exact pattern. This was yesterday where the stock went on a spike, came on down, U-shaped up around, broke the VWAP. We went on a massive run and massive rip. What do you think's going on right here? We had our big time spike deck. Where's the big time spike at? Again, let's look in pre-market right here. Look at big ginormous spike. Came on down, made this U-shape, break of the VWAP, and now we're going, a little crazy again. Right? So it's doing the same exact thing, guys. Making this big U-shaped pattern. Now just got halted, looking for a run and rip all the way back up towards $19. So ABIO, we knew all eyes were going to be here. And why did we know all eyes were going to be here? Because this was yesterday's big supernova. This thing went from, $5 all the way to $10. And then it went all the way up towards around $13 before closing at $10, and a massive gap up of $8, which we talked about on a swing trade last night. Some people took it and absolutely killed it. And then what happened again this morning? It went on a quick rip, and now it's starting to U-shape all the way back and around. So we knew hands down that ABIO was going to get a lot of hype. Now, what was our game plan? Our game plan this morning was let's play ABIO, and if we don't have the funds for ABIO, let's look to see if sympathy plays are going to be spiking off ABIO. Now, if you guys don't know what a sympathy play is a smaller stock within the same sector of ABIO or the same sector of the supernova that would be running and ripping at the same time. So if we, let's say, have a medical company, right? A medical company in China, and that stock goes on a $90 rip. You can look at medical companies in China that are lower priced and low float that are going to get penny stock hype. And why are they going to get penny stock hype? Because basically, a stock within their same sector is going ginormous. So people go towards these other plays. So for instance, today, what did we have? If we go to, I just want to bring up, Yahoo so we can support this a little bit better. We can look at ABIO, and we can see ABIO right here. Our statistic behind this, or excuse me, our profile behind this is our sector is healthcare and industry biotechnology. So what did we have right here? We had NSPR going a very big time rip, right? So we had healthcare, again, same exact sector right here. And with that being said, NSPR, this stock didn't have any news, or this stock didn't have any reasoning. And what happened? This thing went on a very nice spike this morning because there's a little bit of a sympathy play behind it, right? So this was a sympathy play. Same exact thing with DFFN, right? DFFN, this went on a morning spike, right? Now, why did this go on a morning spike? Well, again, what was ABIO? ABIO is healthcare and biotechnology. What's DFFN? DFFN is healthcare and biotechnology, right? So the statistic behind this is, again, the float is 3 million in float. So we got 3 million float within the same exact. Again, we can look back right here. ABIO, healthcare and biotechnology, and then we have DFFN, healthcare and biotechnology. So again, this doesn't have any sort of news. So why is DFFN up 37%? Why did this go on almost a $2 spike? Just because ABIO is ripping and ABIO is running. So that was our game plan today. Our game plan was, let's look at ABIO. If you can play this stock, hop in on it, make some money, do what you want to do in pre-market. That's where the big money was. And if it continues to move on up, let's look at some sympathy plays. So looking at sympathy plays, we're saying to ourselves, hey, okay, NSPR, DFFN, these are the big ones. But then we also noticed right here that ABIO started dumping and it started crashing and it started losing a lot of hype. So we're saying, all right, well, if ABIO is the reason why DFFN and SPR are running, I don't think we want to get in on those plays anymore. So we went to our backup plays. Now, what also are some big press releases that have led to ginormous spikes before in the past? Reverse stock splits. And we had 2 reverse stock splits over the past 2 days. We had one this morning on BLIN. So we had one this morning on BLIN, which was a huge reverse stock split. This stock was around this, I think, 30-cent mark. And now it's all the way up towards around $7. And we had one on EARS that used to be around 30 cents, and now it's at $5 per share. So we were keeping our eyes on both these plays, right? And right when we saw the DFFN start coming on down, right when we saw ABIO start coming on down, we saw NSPR start coming on down, EARS started spiking on up. And I'm saying to myself, okay, wow, we got a low float. This is a 1 million in float stock. This stock is starting to spike on up right now because ABIO and the sympathy plays are starting to collapse. So EARS, again, looking at this play, it wasn't, again, super consistent. This stock did go from 450 straight up towards around 650. Little sign of ABIO is back. But if you're saying, oh, Deck, where'd you get in on this play? Again, I got in late on this play. So I didn't get in here. I didn't get in here. I didn't get in here. I didn't even get in until, again, up towards these areas, right? I didn't get in until this lower shadow right here. So I want to make sure, again, you guys understand that, right? Because, none of this right here, this wasn't from me buying any sort of big shares. This wasn't from any of us buying any sort of big shares. I didn't get in all the way until 588, right? And you guys could see, of course, my P&L. So I hopped in on this play, 588, 586, after the stock already got, big time buying volume because I expected this thing to go up more, to continue to go on a nice rip, to continue to go on a nice big run. And what happened? It got halted, went on a spike, ran all the way up towards around that 613 mark, got halted again, and then eventually ran all the way up to 650. So 650 was my ultimate target anyway from my entry at 586. Again, that's a great profit right there. But with that being said, I started locking in my profits when it was upwards around that 650 mark. So I got 400 out at 630, and then I let the other 400 play because I wanted to see if we were going to break it. I wanted to see if we were going to break that 650 mark. Unfortunately, it started turning and crashing on down, and that's where I locked in my profit at 613. So again, right when it first opened, I locked in a little bit. I wanted to see if it was going to break 650. It started turning and crashing. That's where I locked in 613. So you can see right here, I got out of this play first, and then I got out of the rest a little bit later on. So EARS, that was my play so far today. Pretty happy with that one. And on top of that, guys, there has been so much profit today. It has been absolutely insane. But between, 2 stocks, ABIO, EARS, what a monster morning this has been. $271 profit for myself, and the team killed it as well. Look at these huge gains. And as you guys have, here's EARS. 126, 520, 230, 66, 275, 160, 106, 104, 1500, 200, 480. And then we had ABIO today as well, right? We had ABIO 500, 717, 14, or in at 1245 out of 1485. 2,100, 256 right here, 383, 550, to do $2,448, right? 660, right? So it was awesome. The start of May has been so insane. The start of May has just been so wild. I do want to check out ABIO right now. ABIO is getting a little bit crazy at this moment. Got up towards a high around 1850. Back down to the VWAP currently. VWAP is at 1636 that I see. So VWAP is at 1636. That's what I'm currently seeing on this play. So we'll see if it's going to be able to hold that VWAP. And we'll see where, of course, this is going to be going next. But right now this has been a very, very solid play. ABIO. Let's see if it can hold this VWAP for the second though, and if it can hold this VWAP, or nope, starting to drop on down below the VWAP. So nice little pop on up. Couldn't break through the high of the day. Could not break through the high of the day yet. You can see could not break through that high of the day mark. And again, that's right at 19, right next to $19. So the high of the day resistance is holding on up. But it's been wild on the fact that we woke up, we watched ABIO. ABIO was spiking, so we focused on sympathy plays. ABIO started dumping, sympathy plays started dumping. We had to focus what's the next move? Reverse stock splits on BLIN and EYES. EYES popped up on the high of the day momentum scanner. So again, EYES, that's how we found it as well, popped up on the high of the day momentum scanner. So many stocks again popping on up. And after we found this play, what time was this at again? It's at 9:58. This right here, I believe this, or we were just watching it. Let me see if it popped up on this high of the day momentum scanner. A lot of plays. A lot of plays right here. A lot of DFFN. Again, DFN, NSPR. Again, that one's not showing up right there. But yeah, we watched an ABIO. ABIO, then watched sympathy plays. Sympathy's plays started falling, then went to reverse stock splits, and now back to ABIO. So it's been a wild morning. It's been an absolute crazy one. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Make sure again, you guys, ask me any questions, comments, concerns that you guys have. Awesome job today. Super happy, super excited. Grown the small account and seeing what's going to be coming up next. So great, great work.